Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Before we start with our today's analysis, a quick gentle reminder. Byju's Exam Prep IAS has officially launched its Telegram channel. What is that you have to do? Follow the link given in the description box or scan this QR code. This will take you to our official Telegram channel. Join the channel so that you get all the current affairs related updates. Let's get started and look into the first article. The first article says, neither faction can use Sena name or symbol, says the Election Commission of India. Let us try and understand what is this article all about. As per the Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order of 1968, we have the Election Commission of India which allots symbols for anyone contesting the polls. What are the symbols? When we speak about Election Commission of India, it allots symbols to the political parties. There are two types of political parties. One happens to be a recognized political party. The other happens to be unrecognized political party. For a recognized political party, let's say for example, there are national political parties. There are also state political parties as well. For the national political parties as well as for the state political parties, the Election Commission of India allows it to reserve a particular symbol. So this symbol that is given to a national party is only given to the national party at the national level. Let's say for example, you have the lotus for the BJP, the hand symbol for the Congress. Can any other party use this symbol? No. It is only restricted to this national party at the national level. Similarly, there can be a political party which is restricted at the state level as well. For this particular party which is restricted to that state, no other party would be able to use this symbol. This means that a political party which is categorized as a recognized political party at the state level will have a unique symbol. Does this mean another political party in a different state cannot use this symbol? No. Another registered political party in a different state can use this symbol. So this basically means the national political parties will have a unique symbol, but when it comes to the state political parties, one state political party can use it, but another political party can use a similar one or a same one, but this is not the same for the national political party. If I have to give you an example, we have the Federal Party of Manipur and the Dravida Munnetra Kalagam which use the rising sun as their symbol. So there is a state political party, it has a symbol. A similar symbol can be used by another political party in another state, but this symbol cannot be used in the same state. This is what is called as the reserved symbol. Then we have what is called as the free symbols. These are the symbols which are given by the Election Commission of India. There are more than 100 symbols. If there is unrecognized political party or there is an independent candidate who is contesting the elections, these free symbols are given to such unrecognized political party or to an independent person who is contesting the elections. Now the question is, what is the importance of these election symbols? These election symbols provide political party with the unique identity. If I show you a hand, you would for sure recognize that this is a symbol of the Indian National Congress. If I show you a lotus, you would for sure recognize that this is a symbol of the BJP. So a national political party or a state recognized political party will have a symbol where people tend to identify it as well. And there is another advantage as well. What is this advantage? In the earlier scenario, let's say immediately after the independence, we had high rate of illiteracy as well. People were not able to read, people were not able to write as well. So what we had was high rate of illiteracy. How will people cast their vote? In this particular backdrop, what you required was a symbol. So free symbols basically help a person identify a political party because it establishes that political party. It will have a unique identity on one side. On the other side, there might be few illiterate people. They might not know to read as well. In that case, the symbols will help in identification of that independent candidate or unrecognized political party or the recognized political party. Now the question is, under what authority does the Election Commission of India deal with disputes? Why are we speaking about it? That is because in the present situation, what we have is two rival groups within Shiv Sena. Let's say we have one political party which happens to be Shiv Sena. In this Shiv Sena, you might have two fractions. two rival groups claiming for the same name as well as for the same symbol. So at this particular moment, because there are two rival groups within the same political party seeking for the same name as well as for the same symbol, how will the Election Commission of India deal with it? Whenever there is a dispute between rival groups within the same political party, that is when we have the Election Commission of India immediately step into the process. How does the Election Commission of India do this? That is because it has a legislative backing, it has a constitutional backing as well. When we speak about paragraph 15 of the order, which order are we speaking about? The Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order of 1968. It is the Election Commission which can decide disputes among rival groups or sections of a recognized political party staking claim to its name and the symbol. So the Election Commission of India under this order will be able to decide the disputes between rival groups within the same political party. A question was also asked to the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India in Sadiq Ali and another versus Election Commission of India in 1961 clarified that under paragraph 15, the EC is the only authority to decide issues on a dispute or a merger. The Supreme Court upheld its validity in this Sadiq Ali and another versus the Election Commission of India in 1971. Similarly, in Kanhaiya Lal Omar versus R.K. Trivedi, it also said any provision of the symbols order which could not be traced to the representation of the People's Act of 1951 or the conduct of election rules of 1961 can be easily traced to the reservoir of power under Article 324. Under Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, a large power is given to the Election Commission. It speaks about the powers of superintendents, direction, control of elections. So if there is no legislative backing, if there is no order, if there is no executive resolution, the Election Commission would be able to derive its power from Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, says the Supreme Court of India. Now the question is, how will the Election Commission of India usually decide on such disputes? What it basically looks at is two important parameters. One is what is called as the organizational wing. The other happens to be the legislative wing. How will it decide? First, it looks into the organizational wing. What is this organizational wing? Let's say, for example, a group of people come together. They want to establish a political party. So what will they have? They'll have a group of people. So each of these group of people will be given one office bearer designation. Let's say president, vice president, chairman, treasurer, so on and so forth. So initially, when a political party has to be registered with the Election Commission of India, group of people come up and they will have what is called as the office bearer's name. So whoever are these office bearers and their names is what is termed as the organizational wing. So an organizational wing basically means when initially the political party is formed, those people who start off that political party are given a specific name. Those are called as the office bearers. How many people or how many office bearers are present in the rival groups? So there might be two rival groups, there might be three rival groups, but initially there would be office bearers. How many office bearers are present in one of the groups, how many office bearers are present in another rival group is what will be considered by the Election Commission of India. So the first parameter they will look at is in terms of the organizational wing. The second is with respect to the legislative wing. What do we understand by legislative wing? You have the members of the political party who go on to contest the elections as well. After they contest the elections, they go on to win the elections and ultimately they may become the MLAs in the Legislative Assembly or they may also become members of the Parliament as well. So once they become the MLAs or the MP, how many MLAs are supporting one particular faction? How many MPs are representing that particular faction? How many MLAs are representing another group? How many MPs are representing another group? Their numbers will also be taken by the Election Commission of India. On the basis of this, what the Election Commission will decide is whether this name that is given to a political party will have to be given to this group or that group. So what will it decide on? It will decide on the basis of organizational wing as well as the legislative wing. If the numbers are more on one side, that faction, that rival group will get the name as well as the symbol. If the other group has less number of people, it will be devoid of this name as well as symbol. What if the Election Commission of India is not able to decide? In all cases, the Election Commission of India will decide. But what if there is crunch of time? In this particular case, Shiv Sena is fighting one of the bipole elections. So within that period of time, the Election Commission may not be able to come up with a concurrent decision. In this particular case, what will the Election Commission do? It will freeze the name as well as symbol. So Shiv Sena in the present situation cannot be taken by the rival groups. So they can use Shiv Sena, they can add a prefix or suffix to it, and at the same time they have to select a different symbol temporarily. So until and unless it is decided by the Election Commission of India, they would be able to use another name as well as another symbol for a temporary period. And once this period is done, the Election Commission of India would be able to pass its judgment. So remember, for a temporary period, the Election Commission of India would be able to freeze that any political party, the rival groups, will not be able to make use of the symbol or the name. And what if the political parties are able to remove their differences? In that case, when they come back or there is merger, in that case the original party's name as well as symbol will be given to those people. We have seen number of issues in the past as well. Let's say for example, it has happened with AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, it has happened with the Indian National Congress in the 1970s, it has happened with the Samajwadi Party very recently as well. And as part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section which are the other examples that you would be able to relate to when it comes to the election symbol dispute, that is the political parties dispute for the name as well as the symbol. Please put it on the comment section. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. Now let's look into the next article. This article says, as prisons overflow, BSF lets migrants with clean record return to Bangladesh. Let us try and understand what is this article all about. We have to consider two recent examples that happened along the border areas of India and Bangladesh. Two women were intercepted by border security force near border outpost of Jitpur in West Bengal's North 24 Paraganas district while illegally crossing the international border from India. So they had entered in India, they did work in India as well, and they were going back from India to Bangladesh. They were intercepted by the border security force. Four Bangladeshi nationals were intercepted near the border outpost of Jitpur and Rangad, also in the same district. Four other people were also caught by the BSF and they were allowed to go back to their home country. Now the question is, whenever there are illegal migrants who have entered to the country, what would happen? Whenever illegal migrants enter the country, what would happen? These people will be punished. So immediately, as per the normal procedure, these people who are illegal migrants will be caught by the border security force. They will be reported to the police stations, close by police stations, and ultimately they would be put behind bars. They would languish in jail for several years. So if there is an illegal migrant entering our country, he would be caught by the BSF and he would be sent to the nearby police station and they book a case and they are made sure that they are in jail for a long period of time as well as in the correctional centers. But why did the border security force personnel allow these people to go back to their country? That is because they basically believe there are two reasons for it. One is because there are large number of people who are already languishing in jails. There is overcrowding of such illegal migrants who are present in the jails right now. In order to prevent it, if they have a clean affairs In that particular moment, they would speak to the border security of another country, that is Bangladesh in this case, and allow them to go back to their home country. So why did the border security force allow these people to go back without sending them to the police station? That is because one, these people did not have any criminal antecedents in the past, and all that India wanted to show is a gesture of humanity and goodwill, and there was overcrowding of the prisons, which is why they were allowed to go back to their country. But if there are people who are involved in smuggling of narcotics, cough syrups, fake currency, gold or other prohibited articles, or any illegal activities, in such case they would be pushed to the nearby police stations, and ultimately all the penal provisions would be enforced on them. But in this specific case, they did not have any criminal antecedents in the past. All that they wanted to do was get some little work, for which they did commit to India, and they did finish their work. Now they are heading back to Bangladesh, which is why we have the BSF, which has allowed them to go back after speaking to their counterparts in Bangladesh, which happens to be the border guard Bangladesh. Now if we look into the statistics, a recent report on prison statistics of India 2021 shows that of 5,665 foreign inmates lodged in the country's correctional home, West Bengal alone accounts for 1,746, that is 31% of all prisoners hailing from foreign countries. West Bengal has reported the highest number of foreign convicts lodged in its jails, 30.5% or 329%, and the highest number of foreign under trials lodged in its jail, which is at 28.4% or 1179%. The report also points out that among the foreign inmates, Bangladeshi nationals comprise the majority, that is 40.5% of all foreign inmates. A majority of the foreign nationals were arrested for crossing the border illegally. Now the question is, why do people from Bangladesh enter into India illegally? This particular issue has been persisting ever since the 1947. Immediately after India became independent, what we had was East Pakistan, and after 1971, what we had was Bangladesh as well. So people have been continuously moving, migrating from Bangladesh, then East Pakistan as well. Why? That is because of the hostile conditions that is existing in Bangladesh. Back then, East Pakistan, there have been severe cases of persecution and intolerance as well. And the major reason happens to be adverse economic condition. As a result, for the people in Bangladesh, India happens to be one of the places where they can actually move in easily. Why is this tough to stop? That is because if you consider the border areas, Bangladesh has borders with multiple states in India: West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Assam. So, what is the major issue? The major issue happens to be the porous borders. Yes, we do have the border security force which is guarding the border area. We do have the fences that are also present as well. But then what we have is entire stretch of plain, riverine, hilly jungle region. There are no natural obstacles as well, and this particular area is heavily populated, and there are many regions where cultivation grow up to the last inch of the border. Because we have porous borders, because we have large number of people along the border areas, which is why it becomes very difficult to regulate this migration along the border areas of India and Bangladesh. And when it comes to India, we have many citizens of India who might not have their Aadhaar cards, ration cards, passports, so on and so forth. But when it comes to these people who enter India illegally, they have all their fake identity card registered. In fact, there are also brokers who as well, who also make sure that these people get Aadhaar. They also get other ration cards and other documents as well. But Indian citizens do not have these cards, but these illegally coming people also get all sorts of fake identity cards as well. Added to it, there is commonality of the language and culture as well. They are almost similar to the Indians. They have a similar culture. They also have the same language as well. As a result, they get assimilated into the local culture, and you would not be able to know the differences between an illegal migrant as well as the genuine Indian citizens. Even when Indian authorities have tried to identify all these illegal migrants, deport them back to Bangladesh, there have been reluctance of the Bangladeshi authorities to cooperate on this front as well. And finally, the most important factor happens to be an economic issue, because the economy in Bangladesh is doing not that really good. As a result, people want to explore the greener pastures. They feel they can come over to India, work in India, and send some money back to Bangladesh as well, which is why they enter India. These are the possible reasons as to why India is not able to regulate illegal migration into India. This basically means it has substantially contributed to the changing demographic dividend, especially in the northeastern states as well as in the state of West Bengal, and as a result, people are not happy about it, as this will adversely affect their way of life, and this could lead to possible tensions between these illegal migrants as well as the local residents. It is in this particular backdrop we have to understand what are the measures that we may have to take in the near future to prevent this illegal migration. The first is to forge a bilateral agreement with Bangladesh. As of now, India has been talking with Bangladesh as well to deal with this particular problem of illegal Bangladeshi migrants. What India has to do is directly enter into a bilateral agreement. As of now, there is a lot of reluctance from the Bangladeshi authorities, but if we have a bilateral agreement under which two countries would accept their illegal migrants, in that case, there will be no issues whatsoever. As of now, there is reluctance, so India and Bangladesh would have to forge an agreement, and when this agreement is there, the reluctance will be comparatively reduced. We have to deter migration at the source. What do we mean by it? We have the border security force which is already along the border areas. They are not able to prevent because of the porous borders. So what we have to do, we have to also speak to the people in that particular locality, and in case they do discover any of the person not to be supposed to be in that area and it happens to be a new person, they have to report to the police authorities immediately. So effective policing for a long period of time along the complex areas has to be increased. The border security force has to increase. Fencing should also be taken up. But amidst all this, what you require is the cooperation of the people in that particular area. So the next key factor that India has to consider is give awareness to the people along the border areas so that they would be able to report the same thing to the police officers. The third is with respect to the fostering economic development. We did discuss that one of the possible reasons as to why they are coming to India is because of they want to explore the economic opportunities. What if along the border areas, India enters into an agreement with Bangladesh, also supports and develops the border areas of Bangladesh? In that particular case, these people may not look up to India. They need not have to come to India. If India enters into an active participation with Bangladesh, where Bangladesh economy is improved. At the same time, we have SARC as well. We also have multiple other groupings as well. We also have international cooperation as well. If Bangladesh is economically empowered, in that case, these people may not come to India. So, on a long term, what India should be able to do is to foster economic development in Bangladesh, particularly along the border areas with India. And finally, India can also take advantage of the international cooperation. Let's say, for example, we have the United Nations HCR. In the past, they have helped India when it comes to the Sri Lankan crisis. In the past, they've also helped India when it comes to the Afghanistan crisis as well. So why not make use of UNHCR so that their international cooperation can also be taken up, and these issues of illegal migration can also be addressed. As of now, most of it is being dealt with bilaterally. So instead of bilateral, we can also seek the international cooperation as well. So in the past, voluntary repatriation of Sri Lankan refugees from Tamil Nadu had happened under the support of UNHCR. UNHCR also played a significant role of Afghan refugees in India. So in the near future, if we can ask them, take their support, these issues can also be addressed. Other measures that India would be able to take up is vigorous patrolling. Then we should have better line of communication, electronic surveillance, and if we are able to ensure that all these measures are taken up, we would be able to prevent illegal migration in our country. So we need to tackle this particular issue by taking concrete steps, and ultimately what we require is a holistic and a transparent process and a policy so that this can be brought to an end. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. Now let's look into the next article. This article says clean swipe for MGNREGA attendance app only in 8 states. Let us try and understand what is this article all about. We have the Union Government's order making it mandatory to record attendance of the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme workers through a government application called as the National Mobile Monitoring System at work sites where 20 or more people are employed. What do we mean by it? Earlier, if you look at MGNREGA, what exactly was happening? You had the supervisor. The supervisor used to monitor this particular region and take the attendance of the workers. But now what these supervisors will have to do is they have to geotag this particular place and also take the photographs of the workers who are present in that particular place and ultimately take their register. So this is accomplished under the National Mobile Monitoring System. So if we look into the earlier scenarios, you had the supervisor. The supervisor used to monitor that particular place. He used to take the attendance of the people working in that particular area. And now what is he doing? The supervisor has to upload a geotag photograph of the workers, and only then the attendance would be considered. Why was this brought into picture by the government of India? That is to make sure that there is transparency and citizen oversight for this particular program. If we look into the statistics, as per the data for September put out by the Union Ministry for Rural Development, there are only 8 states which have recorded 90% and above usage of the app. These include Assam, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Tripura, Uttarakhand, Puducherry. In Puducherry, though the usage of this application is high, the quantum of worksites in September was just about 774. Andhra Pradesh, which has one of the largest MGNREGA workers, used the NMMS app for recording attendance in September only in 21.48% over 92,000 worksites. In August, this number was at 9.56%. In Uttar Pradesh, another state where receives significant percentage of total MGNREGA national funds, in September, out of 1.3 lakh worksites, only 50.19% the muster roll was filled via the application. Now the question is, why are they not using this application? That is because of multiple reasons. The first happens to be the technical glitches. What are these technical glitches? One happens to be with respect to the attendance. What did I say? I said that you have the supervisor who would be able to take the photograph, but this particular application is not able to take the photographs of that particular site. It is not able to take the authentication of the workers as well. So there are technical glitches in this particular application. As a result, they are not able to upload the photographs. There are certain instances where there are no servers in space as well. There are instances where there is no internet connectivity in that particular area. As a result, when these people, the supervisors who monitor that area, are not able to upload the images, it is the people who are becoming the major sufferers. Because the attendance is not considered in this case, these people are not able to get the wages. So the first major issue that we are witnessing is the attendance is not being taken properly because of the technical glitches, and these people are not able to receive the wages. There are also server capacity issues as well, and whenever there has been an issue, they have to go to the district magistrate office, get this sorted. This they are not able to do, and ultimately many people are not able to get the wages. Added to it, whenever we speak about this particular application, what exactly is the issue? There have been supervisors. These supervisors can be men as well as the women. What they require is the mobile phones, but in the rural areas it is majority of the men who have the smartphones. Women may not have the smartphones. So at this particular moment, most of the supervisors and the responsibilities are going towards the men, and women are losing on the opportunities. This is another major concern. The third major concern is about the flexibility. What is to do with the flexibility? We have the women who take care of their households. They have to take care of the children, they have to take care of the senior citizens as well. They work at homes, immediately come back to this particular site. They also work at the MGNREGA sites as well. So they used to go in the morning, sign. They also used to come back in the evening, sign as well. But when it comes to this particular application, you require the supervisor to take the photographs of that particular site as well as the worker at that particular moment and the time. And it is at that particular moment, if the woman is not present in the site, then she is also losing the wages as well. So earlier there was flexibility given to the woman. She was able to work at two places as well. Now, because she has to be present when the photographs are taken, if she is missing on that front, wages are once again deducted. This happens to be another major concern. So this article currently goes on to say that there have been some technical glitches. They are working on it, and in the near future they will address all these technical glitches, is what is this article all about. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. Now let's look into the next article. This article says early warning for heat wave sees huge improvement. Let us try and understand what is this article all about. The article here is speaking about heat waves, how heat waves actually cause a lot of concerns to the people, and what are the measures that we may have to take, and how India is working on this front. When we speak about heat wave, it is a period of unusually hot weather with above normal temperatures that typically last 3 or more days. In India, heat waves are generally experienced during March and June. On an average, 2-3 heatwave events are expected every season. How is it caused? Heat waves are caused by large-scale atmospheric circulation anomalies like high pressure areas, upper tropospheric, jet stream, so on and so forth. The global forcing like El Nino Southern Oscillation and the Indian Ocean modulate the frequency and duration of the Indian heat waves. Heat wave can further be accentuated by local effects like depleted soil moisture and enhanced sensible heat flux. So this article currently goes on to say that heat waves are predominantly seen in the central and the northwestern part of India. It is also seen in coastal Andhra Pradesh and Odisha because there are favorable atmospheric conditions. But for the past few years, it has spread to other parts of India. There have been consecutive number of days where heat waves are seen as well, and this may increase to about 12 to 18 days by the year 2060. So this article says whenever we have such issues, what are the negative consequences? People will face the burden of heat waves. There'll be impact on agriculture. There'll be impact on the power as well. There'll be impact on the human health, and largely it will also hit the economy as well. When it comes to the agriculture, what exactly happens? Because of heat waves, there is excessive temperature. So the yield in this particular area will drop because during heat waves, we would not have much of irrigation, we would not have much of rainfall, so yield in agriculture will reduce. So wheat crop yields from Punjab, Uttar Pradesh may drop. The second major issue is with respect to the power outrage. What would happen whenever there is a heat wave? We require ACs continuously. We also make use of fans as well. At this particular moment, what it can also lead to is power outrage because people are continuously using these air conditioners. This may also hit the power sector, and if people go out, there can also be health impact as well. If people are working during the heat waves, this will also result in nauseating feeling. There will also be burnouts as well, and during this period the economy as a whole will also be hit, says this article. So in order to overcome all these issues, under the National Monsoon Mission, the Ministry of Earth Sciences has established an advanced prediction system for early warnings of the heat waves. The Indian Meteorological Department also has the capability to predict the genesis, duration, and intensity of heat events with reasonable accuracy of 5 days. These predictions are widely disseminated to the disaster management authorities. So we already have the Indian Meteorological Department. We also have the local bodies as well. These would be able to mitigate the impact of the heat waves. Further, a recent study published in the scientific reports by the scientists at the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, has shown that heatwave genesis and duration in India can be predicted with good skill up to 2 weeks in advance. They've used the hintcast from the Ministry of Earth Sciences extended range prediction system that uses ensemble method combining 4 atmospheric general circulation models. In another study published in the International Journal of Climatology of the Royal Meteorological Society last month, scientists from IND, IATM, Ministry of Earth Sciences have documented for the first time that Indian heat waves can be predicted even one season in advance. They use 37 years of hindcast from the monsoon mission coupled climate forecast model to document that seasonal predictions of frequency and duration of Indian heat waves during April June are very useful. So if we are able to predict heat waves in advance, the likely negative impact can be reduced over a period of time, says this article. So this is one such example where application of science and technology can help the society, says the author. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. Now let's look into the mains practice questions. Explain with relevant examples how election commission decides on party symbol disputes. Next question. The problem of illegal immigration from Bangladesh has existed for decades. Discuss concrete steps to tackle the problem in a holistic and transparent manner. Please write all your answers on the comment section, peer review, and do give positive feedback to your friends' answers. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.